PM show, nationwide, coast-to-coast weekend edition. I'm Michael Horn. Thanks for joining us here on the show. Going to be talking about news items of the week, and also check out the football action. Have you been watching those bowl games? I'm telling you, the bowl games have been outstanding. If you're an Oklahoma Sooner fan, you enjoyed that game last night. I didn't even think that the icy areas of North Dakota are going to be represented in one of the bowl games. And I don't know who's going against them, but I got to check it out. I think Stanford should have beat Michigan, but I kind of like Michigan. I'm glad they won. And I was happy Nebraska won. Nebraska coming in there beating Georgia. Yeah, that's my favorite team is Nebraska, the Cornhuskers. Right there from Omaha, from the University of Nebraska, followed probably by the Oklahoma Sooners. If you're a Sooner fan, Sooner Magic. Speaking of Magic, I've been just putting down these handicapping things. I've been coming in strong all the time, telling you 11 correct that I had last week here on the show, just leading the pack. If you take out the top, you know how they always used to do that in when you have the curve when you do the test, and they take the highest score and throw it out, and the lowest score and throw it out, which is what I did, and that allowed me to win 11. We threw out the lowest score, which was Fred Dreyer. Didn't want to embarrass Fred here on the show. I mean, he's a football legend. We throw that out, and some guy had 12, and we threw that out, and that leaves me at the top of the heap with 11 correct picks, followed by a tie between Ken Michaels and Jimmy Mack at 7. Actually, no. Fred Dreyer had 8. We had to throw out actually Ken Michaels and Jimmy Mack. They had 7. Yeah, these guys are pretty pitiful. 7, 7, 8, and then my big 11, and then some other guy had 12. So we throw out the high, throw out the low. That's the way it goes. That's the way you grade on the curve. This is the Obama administration, the age of Obama. You don't want to upset anybody. You throw out the guys that make too much money to get all of them right. They throw them out, and you take the lower one out. Don't even know who the guy was that got 12. These things usually come into me here covered up. I don't know, but I know that somebody had scored 12 correct. Let's see here. It looks like it's written on news copy. Apparently Eric Joseph from the newsroom might have gotten 12, but we're not sure. You take the high one, you get rid of it, Tomas. That's what you do. You get rid of it, and then you take the low one. You don't want to embarrass Ken Michaels, and you don't want to embarrass Jimmy Mack. So you throw them out. Jimmy Mack would be embarrassed if he knew that he only had 7 correct. So you have to, sometimes some people, those that have, give. So Eric Joseph, if he got 12, indeed it was him. You didn't bill that. You weren't the winner. After you take it off the curve, it's me, you had 11. Can we retabulate these, by the way, also? I don't know how somebody could have like 1 extra point over and above moi. 11 is pretty good. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 16 games I had to handicap and struggle over, and I got 11 of the 16. If I was a handicapper charging for this service, you people would be paying lots of money to try to get my picks. As it stands, I give them to you for free, and I will have all the winners in the last segment or so of the show when we talk about the playoff games that are coming up this weekend. I've been picking all the college games, too, just picking them all. We'll be back.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Honig with Honig Vineyard and Winery. Honig is a family-owned and operated winery located in Rutherford, right in the center of the Napa Valley. We have been growing grapes on our property since 1964, and our production is focused on 2 varietals alone that grow perfectly in Rutherford, Sauvignon Blanc and Cabernet Sauvignon. As a family business, we realize the importance of protecting the environment and our land. Honig is a California certified sustainable wine grower, and we use solar energy to power the winery. We would love to have you come and visit and taste our wines, sit down and relax in our tasting room and our patio, enjoy the gorgeous views of the Napa Valley and award-winning wines. Please call us to make an appointment at 707-963-5618 or sign up online at www.honigwine.com. That is HONIGWINE.com. Thank you.
PM show nationwide, coast to coast, CRN Digital Talk Radio. I've got these games handicapped already for this weekend. We may not even need experts here on the show, but we'll bring them in just to make it a competition. It took me a while to get into these playoffs. You know, they have the college games. They start like at the beginning of December. There's a bowl game every night. I got so many dirty bowls at my house that I'm going to have to start up the dishwasher pretty soon because, you know, it's a bowl game. You get a bowl of food. You sit there and you watch the bowl game on TV with your bowl of food. And then I put the bowl, let the dog lick it out, stick it in the dishwasher, and then it's ready to go for the next day's use. Sometimes I use a clean bowl. Depends on how good the dog is. Depends on what I had to eat. Boy, a lot of new rules and regulations in the new year, you know, and old stories to come back with and talk about, you know, but they've legalized that marijuana stuff that, you know, that you smoke. You roll those stogies and you smoke that kind of loco weed, as they call it. And they've legalized that in Colorado. And I think they're going to have some problems now with drivers. They're saying they can pull you over now in many states. And, you know, they have that breathalyzer that you would blow on to see if you had alcohol. Well, now they have every right, I guess, now to swab your mouth and see if you've got drugs, you know, you've been using drugs, or if you've been using that marijuana. And that local weed, and apparently there was a caller this morning. I was listening to the Doug Steffen show. Jennifer was sitting in for Doug, and some nutcase called in and said that you know, they're taking away your rights by you know, forcing themselves to swab your mouth, and that may be the case. But do you want some pothead driving against you? You know, on the roadway, the guy said there's nothing wrong. You can smoke pot and you can drive and you can be totally fine. And I say, oh yeah. You ever been around some guy that really blows the old weed sometimes? It's kind of like, yeah, I'm just relaxing. I think I put the brake on, but I'm not sure. Let me check. There's some metal in front of me now through the glass. You know, they get a little relaxed. So again, if you're going to do that, make sure you have a designated driver. And then there's those e-cigarettes that are out right now. I understand that Robert Conrad's show, the lovely Alita, who is his assistant and produces everything in his career right now, she was sitting there smoking one of them e-cigarettes. And it kind of blows that smoke out and you can't smell anything. And you know, if you're going to do something stupid like that, why don't you just get a candy cigarette? That's what we used to do when we were kids. You know, back when we were kids and everybody smoked on TV. Ricky Ricardo was always lighting one up before he went to the Copacabana Club. You know, Clint Eastwood, Pete Nolan, Mr. Favor had them hanging out of their mouth when they were on the cattle drive. I don't know if Matt Dillon on Gunsmoke or Paul Cartwright ever had his boys smoking a cigarette, but there was always somebody smoking. You know, especially if they had one of them Gangland movies, you know, that started like the Wise Guys and that. Yeah, you're going to see? You're going to take care of me, see? You want to come and get me, see? Yeah, see? And so we used to go buy candy cigarettes at the candy store. There was like this drugstore, and they had this huge candy counter at Hober's Pharmacy. And I don't know if old man Hober was there or not, but you would be able to get Necco wafers and mountain bars, you know, and all that good stuff. And as you're a young kid, you'd buy the candy cigarettes. You open up and say, give me a light, would you? Give me a light. And you'd walk around with a little kid going, I like a light. And just smoking. You'd tap the end of the candy cigarette, and you'd suck on the end, and it was like kind of like a mint taste, getting you ready to smoke the stogies, you know. And then I still never smoked, even though I was big on the candy cigarettes. What happened in my life was I had a bad experience with too many of the candy cigarettes and developed kind of a sugar cough. And the doctor, when I used to play doctor with that little girl down the street, ordered me off the candy cigarettes. And so, you know, early on, I just stopped smoking dead right on the spot cold. I stopped. Stopped with the candy cigarettes and never had another puff. I don't know how we got on that topic. It had something to do with that marijuana up in Colorado. They're legalized. They made a lot of money on it. I mean, if people are going to get the marijuana, you got to look at both sides of that argument. I think they made like $1 million or something already in Colorado taxing that stuff. just like they do on the alcohol and all that stuff. They'll figure out ways to get it just squeeze every dime out of everybody. Get the money. Luxury tax. Prince William in the news. He's headed back to school. And that's when I cut the cigarettes off when I had to go back to school. Because back in the days when I went to grade school, when I had to go there, if you lit up a cigarette during the class, the teacher would kind of make you stand up and embarrass you publicly and say, Michael, did you bring enough cigarettes for all the class members? I never had enough money to bring cigarettes for all the class members. Are you kidding me? You know, one time I went out and saved all my money up so I could get some of those baseball cards. You know, they were like 5 cents a pack when I was a kid. That's how old and ancient I am. And they had bubble gum in there. And old man Sid would have his ice cream truck that would come around, blink-a-dink-a-dink, blink-a-blink-a-blink, you know, and a couple of times he got accused of child molestation. We didn't care. He never touched us. Sid was a nice old guy. You know, and so Sid would roll up and you'd order out either a popsicle or something and would have ice cream stuff. And then there was the good humor man who was more dignified, you know, supposedly. I liked old Sid. He was better than the good humor man. He'd come around and go, blink, 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 blink. And he'd come over and he'd take a baseball card pack. And he'd go, I want this baseball card. Let's see what I got here. You'd buy one from him, right? Give him his nickel. And then he'd go, I'm going to get one of these. And he'd open one up. If there was enough kids, he had enough kids there. And he'd say, I like this gum. And the gum was frozen, so it would crunch when you bit into it. It was pretty good. And then it would soften up. And he'd look at this guy and go, Moose Skyron, you can puke on him, and he'd throw it on the street. And then he'd go, Rip Rapolsky can puke on him, and he'd throw it on the street. You know, Mickey Mantle puke on him, and he'd throw it. And we'd be running after these cards, grabbing them up, because he's throwing away valuable baseball cards. And in essence, promoting the fact that he had baseball cards so he'd want to buy more. So I saved all my money up, and I went to Old Man Hober's Pharmacy, and I bought a package of 24 baseball cards. 24 of them in the box. They were actually in the box because I knew I would get the Sandy Koufax card if I bought the whole box. A better chance than just buying one pack at a time for a nickel. But I had to save up my money. I mean, 24 cards. And 5 cents, that's like $1.20. There's a lot of bucks to save up back when I was a kid. That was 15 mows of the lawn. Yeah, the parents had me on real low wages. Anyway, so I would get these baseball cards, and we would look through, and I got a Sandy Koufax and a Don Drysdale. Those were some. There was different editions. My favorites were the ones that were lengthwise. They'd have a picture, an action photo on the left side of the guy actually throwing the baseball or fielding the ball or swinging his bat, and then it had a picture of the guy's face right next to it on the right. Then on the bottom it would say Clem Labine, and there'd be like a Dodger logo. What they used to do in those baseball cards, they'd have guys that you never heard of that got cut from the team in spring training. You know, some of the losers that got to the team in the beginning, they cut them. So I always used to get like Fred Kipp. Can we look him up? I don't even know if there was a player named Fred Kipp that played for a while in the major leagues. But I have a bunch of his baseball cards, or did. Guy traded me for my Mickey Mantle. Gave me 15 Fred Kipps and a Norm Larker for him. Maybe I got gypped, I don't know. We're going to continue straight ahead. More news of the day. We'll get into all the Hollywood news here for you. Stay with us on CRN. It's the VM Show. I'm Michael Horn.
Here's a diabetic news alert from the Diabetic Health Agency. Diabetic studies now show that 1 out of 3 people have a chance of becoming diabetic in their lives, and nearly 5,000 people are diagnosed daily. The good news is that if you effectively manage your blood sugars, you will be ahead of the game. The Diabetic Health Agency will help you manage your diabetes with education programs, reliable customer support, and top-notch testing supplies. And if you are covered by Medicare or private insurance, we can help by sending your supplies directly to your door at little or no cost to you. When you join our diabetes education program, direct access to our team of experienced diabetes consultants is just a phone call away. Call now and learn how to get your free diabetes care kit when you join our program. 800-808-5181. 800-808-5181. Again, 800-808-5181.
Kaanapali Beach Hotel, Maui, Hawaiian Hotel.
Located in the heart of Maui's premier resort, Kaanapali Beach Hotel is officially recognized as Hawaii's most Hawaiian hotel and the #1 best value in Hawaii. With a range of accommodations and affordable dining options, this is the ideal setting to turn Hawaiian dreams into lifelong memories. Live Hawaiian entertainment every evening, free year-round children's programs, weekly arts and crafts fairs, welcome breakfast, and departure kukui lei ceremonies add to the value. Swim in the whale-shaped pool, indulge in the fabulous spa and hotel salon. Enjoy Hawaiian hospitality at its best at the Kaanapali Beach Hotel. Call 800-262-8450 or go to kvhmaui.com. That's kvhmaui.com. Aloha.
Kaanapali Beach Hotel, Maui's Hawaiian Hotel.
Do you have unfiled tax returns or owe the IRS or state more than $10,000? If you don't take action now, your tax problem is going to get worse, much worse. Seizure of property, bank levies, wage garnishments, and potential criminal prosecution. And if you owe the IRS back payroll taxes, chances are you will be visited at your home or business by an IRS agent. Don't become paralyzed by fear. Take action now. Call the experts at U.S. Tax Shield for help. Our team of experienced tax attorneys can get you protected, stop collections, and negotiate a permanent settlement with the IRS and state, potentially saving you thousands of dollars. At U.S. Tax Shield, our tax advisors will review your case for free, inform you of your rights, and give you a guaranteed quote. No games and no tricky upsells. That's why we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and thousands of satisfied clients. Put an end to your torment. Get protected. Get the Shield. Call U.S. Tax Shield now at 800-211-8753. That's 800-211-8753. 800-211-8753.
PM show nationwide, coast to coast, CRN Digital Talk Radio. I'm your host, Michael Horn. Glad to have you with us here on the weekend edition. Prince William in the news, as I mentioned. He's headed back to school, according to an announcement that came from Kensington Palace. The Duke of Cambridge is going to go to Cambridge University. He's going to be there about 10 weeks this year. He's reportedly enrolled as a full-time student. He's going to be studying agricultural management. And according to the announcement, he's going to take part in seminars, lectures, meetings designed to help provide the Duke with an understanding of contemporary issues affecting agricultural business and rural communities in the United Kingdom, in the UK. Well, good for Prince William. Everybody should go and study school and do all that stuff. Iron Man 3, the top grossing film of the year. Is it up for any awards in the Academy Awards? Let me answer that question. No. It should be. All the top movies should be up for awards. World War Z was number 10. The Croods, number 9. Thor, The Dark World, number 8. That should be up for an award. Gravity, I guess that one is up for an award. Number 7. Man of Steel, number 6. Superman, he's not up for any awards. Monsters University 5, The Hunger Games Catching Fire, that may have some stars or something up for it. That's 4. Fast and Furious 6, 3, is that up for anything? No. Despicable Me 2, 2, and Iron Man 3, number 1. This is, it made more than $1.2 billion worldwide. Despicable Me at number 2, $918 million. Fast and Furious 6, $788 million. Catching Fire, $771 million. Monsters University, $743. So congratulations to the real winners, the movies that were box office giants. Really, I mean, that's what we should do. Speaking of Iron Man, by the way, Robert Downey Jr., he's in the news. He knows about getting like a second chance in Hollywood. He always had that drug problem, and he came through with that. So guess what he's doing? He's going to use his power as a star to help a friend of his make a similar comeback. This is according to Radar Online. We have the story. They're claiming that Robert Downey Jr. is trying to get his buddy Mel Gibson cast in an upcoming Avengers sequel. And he also wants his good friend Jodie Foster in the film as well. You got to applaud Robert Downey Jr. for that. I like that. Radar Online says, quoting now, he wants to bring Mel and Jodie into the Marvel Universe, preferably in one of the Avengers films. It's been a long-time dream of Robert's to help Mel and Jodie reach similar box office heights like the ones he's achieved in recent years. Apparently, Mel and Robert Downey Jr., Mel Gibson and Robert Downey Jr. have been friends for a long time. It was actually, they say, Mel who helped Robert Downey Jr. get his career back after years of substance abuse problems. So that's good. Mel got Robert Downey Robert Downey Jr. the job in The Singing Detective, and he actually paid for an insurance bond so that Robert Downey Jr. would be able to work. That's a friend, really is. What else we got here in the news? Megan Fox. This again another story from Radar Online for you. We'll get those out of the way now. They're reporting that she is not thrilled that her husband, she's married to Brian Austin Green, now has a full-time gig on Charlie Sheen's Anger Management. I like that show, Anger Management. It's one of the few sitcoms I will actually watch. A source said, quoting now, she's always kept her distance from Charlie Sheen. This is not somebody she wants or needs to associate with. Said the anger management money was something that they could not turn down. That's what somebody, according to Brian Austin Green's staff, said, that money was something they could not turn down, and it was guaranteed work for Brian every week for the rest of the year. Well, yeah, you're going to take that job. Just because you're working with Charlie Sheen, you're going to do any of his shenanigans? I don't think so. So, anyway, they say that his schedule has been very busy. Brian Austin Green is upset at Megan Fox. She hasn't seen him. It basically made her a single mother, but she said they needed the money. So congratulations to him. Let's be happy in the new year, right? Biebs in the news, too. Justin Bieber, apparently they say his fan base could be dwindling. You think? His latest documentary, Justin Bieber's Believe, apparently was released over the Christmas holiday. It earned $4.2 million in 5 days in theaters. And I guess his first documentary back in 2011, Justin Bieber's Never Say Never, that opened with $29.5 million on its first weekend. It made $73 million totally. Maybe Bieb's been driving his car too much. You know, he drives it over those speed bumps in his residence area there. He and Selena Gomez apparently are still friends. They were spotted in Calabasas, California, riding Segways. Maybe that's what he's riding now so he doesn't disturb the neighbors so much. Aren't those stand-up things? Go over a couple of bumps with those, they'll bounce into the backyard pool of a neighbor.
Hey everyone, have you heard about the No hair removal device that's sweeping the globe? If you want to go weeks without shaving and get smooth, professional quality results, here's our favorite host, Cheryl, for No hair removal.
Thanks. Hey gals, I love talking about my No. It's this cute little hair removal system that you can take with you and use almost anywhere at home or on the road. No more expensive in-office treatments, painful waxing, and no more wasting your valuable time. Got unwanted facial hair? No has patented thermocon technology that works on all hair and skin colors, so it's perfect for using on all body parts. And now you can take advantage of this incredible risk-free trial. Get the No, the facial kit, a travel case, and a $100 discount shopping card, and you don't risk a penny to try it. Try the incredible No hair completely risk-free. Call 1-800-953-5208. That's 800-953-5208. 800-953-5208.
If you have gout and think a few attacks a year are all you have to worry about, think again. Fact is, gout can attack silently, even between flares. You may not feel it, but gout's root cause, high uric acid, can allow crystals to continuously form and build up in your joints. Over time, this may lead to attacks in other joints, constant pain, and joint destruction. So don't wait. Get more information at goutinfo.com and talk with your doctor about ways to keep your uric acid at a lower, healthy level.
How deep in debt are you? $10,000? $15,000? Maybe even more? And every day that goes by, you know what happens. Your debt gets larger and larger and larger. Well, if you've had it with your mushrooming debt problem and the stress it is causing you, make this free call today to the Debt Solutions Network. One quick, no-obligation call is all it takes for one of our partner companies to show you how they can help you get out of debt. So if you have $10,000 or more in combined debt and you want to learn how you can solve it, make this free, no-obligation call now.
800-814-5108. 800-814-5108.
If you are in serious debt, you have to get out of it and fast. Call my friends at the Debt Solutions Network now.
800-814-5108. 800-814-5108. Call us 24/7. 800-814-5108.
CRN Digital Talk is celebrating 30 years on the air, and to commemorate, we're publishing our quarterly online magazine, complete with lifestyle articles, recipes, and travel tips from network hosts like Dr. Parthenia Grant, Carell, and Michael Horn. To find out how to sign up and get your own copy of the magazine, visit our website at crntalk.com or our Facebook page at facebook.com/CRNTalk.
When you really want Italian food, you've got to go to Columbo's. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock. It's that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. It's the new year. Take command of the situation by supporting Columbo's in their drive to legalize marinara. Columbo's, designated the official Los Angeles House of Good Eats, has the most succulent steaks, the freshest catch from the 7 seas, family Italian favorites, the envy of Italian mothers everywhere, and meatballs so delicious, the recipe's held under lock and key in a secret vault. Just come into Columbo's, enjoy the fun, the food, the jazz every night, and then register to legalize marinara. You could win a spaghetti with marinara sauce and meatballs dinner for 2 from Columbo's. Drawings every month. Please your palate. Enjoy the good times at Columbo's, that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Columbo's, Manja.
PM Show, weekend edition on CRN Digital Talk Radio. Thanks for joining us here on the show. So Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez are friends. They're riding around in Calabasas, California on their Segways. Fans saw them. One fan was tweeting, "Hey, Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber, thought you broke up." Who cares? Yeah, it's crazy stuff that's going on in the world, you know, and what else do we have? Any other decent stories we can talk about? What's the Kardashian news? Well, Khloe Kardashian didn't have a happy 2013. Oh, my goodness. Because of the split with Lamar Odom. Isn't she hanging out with Matt Kemp now with the Dodgers? Has that been proven yet? That was the rumor that was flying around. Anyway, apparently she said she loves the new year, she loves the new beginnings. That was quoting now from Cosmopolitan UK. She did an article there. I'd say a spread, but they don't have pages wide enough, if you know what I mean. She said, "I need a good fresh start. I'm excited for this year to be over with." And then she revealed in the magazine that her mother, it's Kris Jenner, her mother wanted to get a nose job when she was 9 years of age. Not Kris Jenner when she was 9, when Khloe was 9. What kind of a mother looks at your kid and says, "Get a nose job"? Quoting Khloe said, "She didn't mean no harm, but when I was around 9, I overheard my mom telling her friend I needed a nose job. I was shocked. I hadn't even thought about it. I'm so happy that I never had the surgery." She hasn't any plastic surgery at all. If she was going to, she could mold that patacle muscle down. Thing's hard to drive down the street, If she was there with Justin Bieber, that old Segway would be a little hot top heavy. You know what I'm saying? She says, "I'm so happy that I never have," meaning had any plastic surgery. "I'm proud for losing weight when I wanted to, and I've never resorted to surgery. I'm not against it. One day I probably will, but it would be on my terms." Wasn't it always on your terms if you have surgery? Wouldn't it be? You know, and then there's all the problems with the world. We're in a brand new year. And this abomination care that's out there right now. I mean, people are like signing up for it, then finding out they're really not signed up for it. Problems there. There's problems in Benghazi. Those guys in the New York Times are lying about the story. Apparently, you know, they said that it wasn't an Al-Qaeda group, and then someone comes out and says, wait a second. The Pentagon said that it was an Al-Qaeda group, that the group was tied in with Al-Qaeda. So how can the New York Times not have their editors check these stories out? Well, they don't. And it's out there, and it looks good for President Obama because there was that phony story they were floating that it was some kind of video that caused that whole Benghazi attack. So with all that going on, Benghazi and the health care all screwed up and taxes going nuts and everything, what's the story we get for the new year from the First Family? What Barack Obama watches on TV. Now, if they did this when George Bush was president, he'd be toast, you know. They'd say George Bush watches Duck Dynasty or something, people would be all up in arms. So instead, they're telling you what Barack Obama... Does he have time to watch TV? Does any president have time to watch television? I say no. But apparently this guy, Barack Obama, does. You want to know what he watches, don't you? I just can't leave it and just drop it at that, right? You want to see if you watch the same stuff he watches. Here's what the President of the United States watches. The Commander-in-Chief. Apparently he's got enough money to buy HBO because he watches Game of Thrones and Boardwalk Empire. Anybody watch those? I guess a lot of people do. I have HBO. I never watched that stuff. He should be watching something like Homeland and learning something on Showtime. He also watches that exclusive Netflix show, House of Cards, Kevin Spacey's program. In fact, they say he's a little jealous of Kevin Spacey's House of Cards character. He plays Frank Underwood in that because Obama says, quoting now, this guy's getting a lot done. He's like all of us, fantasizing on what could be through a TV show. You're the President of the United States, for God's sakes. Make it happen. Or as they used to say on Star Trek, make it so. Patrick Stewart would say that, right? And they're saying, by the way, President Obama is right in the middle. He's watching AMC's Breaking Bad. This is great. It's going to identify him with a whole class of a certain type of people. Crazed lunatics out there that are, you know, that Breaking Bad character. You ever watch that show, Breaking Bad? Me neither. I should. Here's the thing I have. When they have those episodic shows, unless you start them at the beginning, you feel left out, so why would you watch them? This is the problem I think that television has when they have low ratings, is do a show where you can jump in at any time, and then people will get caught up in the show. Unless you do so much promotion at the beginning that people just can't wait to see it. Like they did with that show Hostage. Hostages on CBS, and then it turned out to be really boring. Like after a while you think, gee, just get rid of the guy. Drive the car over him or something, you know? Come on. Your husband's already been stabbed 15 times and survived. What the heck? One more attempt to go ahead and try to turn him over. What the heck? What do you got to lose? The odds are in your favor now. Plus, the husband was cheating on her anyway in the show, right? He's cheating with some other woman, so if he takes it, you know, what the heck? You don't have a cheating husband anymore. That's my take on it. What else? Zac Efron is in the news. Now, here's a good story. He's proud of his sobriety. He was in that, High School Musical. He was spotted at a Los Angeles Lakers game earlier this month wearing the blue AA chip around his neck. The blue chip apparently means that he's 26 years old, apparently means that he's been sober for at least 6 months. So he completed his rehab, by the way, in April of 2013. That's a good source. You know? That Sherlock Holmes thing that they got on CBS, you ever watch that show, Elementary show? He supposedly had, like, you know, drug or alcohol problems, and he's in, you know, sobriety right now. And in one of the episodes, he was supposed to be a sponsor. He didn't want to be a sponsor. And they said, hey, are you ready to give something back? You did well from the program. I think that AA is a good program. Let's see what happened. Oh, by the way, Keira Knightley has found a new home, new place to live. She's married to James Wrighton, and they spent about $6 million, and they bought a 2,700 square foot home in London. It's a 4-story home, has 5 bedrooms. It's got a basement, gym, a wine cellar, and a big garden. Yeah, let's go visit. Go over and check out that show. And Demi Moore, she's 51. She's on a New Year's break in Mexico. She's been on the beach frolicking around with her daughter, and she's been a rumor, and she's been seen with the drummer of the band Dead Sarah. What is that? Guy like 17 years old? I don't know.
Well, ring-a-ding-ding, the year was 1936, and Leo and Lillian Goodwin were hot to trot for the world to save some big bucks on automotive insurance. So they opened up a little joint called Geico. Geico had the goods for all the dolls and joes who were keen on swell service and keeping the cabbage.
Flash forward over 75 years, and Geico is still helping customers save money every day, and with 97% customer satisfaction. Today, the peeps would refer to that as pretty darn tight.
Geico, saving people money for over 75 years.
CRN travelers, relax at the beautiful Fountain Grove Inn and Conference Center in Santa Rosa, California. Come to quality and come to luxury. Experience the newly renovated guest rooms. They're generously sized and they're decorated in the Tuscan tradition. They have great, incredible pillow-top mattresses, luxurious linens, and down-filled comforters. The Fountain Grove Inn also offers complimentary Wi-Fi and internet access. There's warm cookies and coffee every evening in the hotel lobby, and you can visit the newly remodeled Equus Restaurant and Equus Lounge with its new wine bar. It's the ideal place to relax and enjoy a glass of wine, and watch our What's Cooking on Wine show on CRN with host Larry Van Alst on Wednesdays. It's the Fountain Grove Inn, Hotel, and Conference Center located in the heart of Sonoma wine country. It's easily located in Santa Rosa off the 101 Fountain Grove Parkway exit. Call 707-578-6101. That's 707-578-6101 or visit fountaingroveinn.com.
Larry Manetti's favorite deli is Cavaretta's Italian Deli at 22045 Sherman Way in Canoga Park, California. Shop Cavaretta's Italian Deli for cold cuts, homemade cannolis, meatballs, lasagna, marinara sauce, and much, much more. Cavaretta's is open 7 days a week and has been voted the best sandwich shop by Fox 11 Television for 3 years in a row. Cavaretta's Deli in Canoga Park, the same owner, 28 years. Go to cavarettasdeli.com.
PM show nationwide, coast to coast. CRN Digital Talk Radio. I'm Michael Horn. One other story here, since we're getting this story, is Jay Leno. Nobody's talking about his last month in broadcasting. I hope he goes over to Fox and just trounces NBC. Jimmy Fallon's in the news, and he's announced. He likes to tweet and twit and twerk and all that kind of stuff with Miley Cyrus. He says they're going to air... Listen to this. I find this laughable, actually. He's only been on for like about a year, hasn't he? And they're going to air a retrospective of his late night show this weekend. Like, how long will that take? 5 minutes? Oh, he might have a halfway decent show.
You are correct, sir.
But he's taken over the Tonight Show on February 24th. That's after the Olympics. So as soon as the Olympics starts, Jay Leno's gone. And last Sunday here, he announced the news on Twitter saying, 1 week from tonight, the best of late night 2-hour special. This is actually laughable. He hasn't been around long enough to have a primetime special. Wow. NBC is falling apart. The people at Comcast should be a little smarter than that. I wish him well, but I, for one, will be watching Conan O'Brien. He's on earlier and much funnier. Better monologue, Conan O'Brien. He's got, that sidekick of his that I like, Jerry Lester. Who's the guy that's on there with Conan O'Brien?
Andy Richter.
Yeah, that guy, too. He's on also.
And to the person to whom at NBC I have a call out.
Do you? Chris Carley, ladies and gentlemen.
Pay no attention to the man hosting the show.
They used to advertise
He knows
here.
not of,
better than that.
what he speaks.
We got joining us here. Our handicappers are ready to go here right now. We have Chris Carley. We threw out the highest score last week. That belonged to news director Eric Joseph, who got 12 right. We threw out the two lowest, which was Jimmy Mack and Ken Michaels, which was 7. That leaves me in with 11 correct. Fred Dreyer with 8. I think that's fair, don't you think, Eric Joseph? Is it okay if we kind of like just level out the curve?
Yeah.
Eric Joseph is with us, ladies and gentlemen.
That's fine. Do what you want.
All right, we got actually Eric Joseph won last week, beat me by 1, and we have Tomas there, and also joining us from the Handicapper's Corner, we have the amazing Mr. Fred Dreyer. Fred Dreyer, welcome to the broadcast. Oh, excuse me a second, Fred. Hold on. Now, Fred Dreyer, welcome to the broadcast. Fred?
Yes, are we there?
Yes, you're there. Welcome to the show. And the great...
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Fred. And we got the famed Jimmy Mack, who's... Okay, there we go.
I'm here, ready to go, man. Ready to go. We got the winners.
Any of you guys heard of Fred Dreyer? Know this? You ever heard of the famous Dodger baseball pitching ace, Fred Kipp?
Yeah.
Thanks, Fred.
Okay.
Apparently, thanks to Tomas, we researched this. He pitched for Brooklyn in 1957. He had a 9.00 ERA. 80 he was with the LA Dodgers. He went 6-6, and he had a 5.01 ERA. He was out the team in 59 for nothing. He had a 0.00. And then he was with the Yankees, I guess, for a year also. He was 0-1 with them. And a 6.23 ERA. Kind of a high ERA, earned run average, right, Fred?
Yeah, that's not going to get you to the buffet table.
So there's Fred Kipp's career. All right, we got playoffs coming up, gentlemen, and we should get right down to it. We got a couple of games Saturday and a couple of games Sunday. Saturday, everything kicks off at 4:35 Eastern Time. That's 1:35 Pacific Time. Indianapolis is at home. They are 1-point favorites over Kansas City. Jimmy Mack will let you start off with this.
Okay, Indy was beaten. Kansas City was beaten by Indianapolis a few weeks ago. It was like at Arrowhead Stadium,
yes.
23-7.
Yeah, yes.
But I think it's going to be a little bit of a change. They played like a vanilla game at Kansas City. I think they could play a better game. I like Kansas City taking the point. I think they're a better defense, and I think they got a better offense.
I agree with you, Jimmy Mack. I like Kansas City. They've had a better defense. It's been rough the last couple of games. It's the playoffs now. You better tool it up. What do you think, Fred Dreyer?
I like Kansas City on the road to win this one.
I'm with Fred. Now, Chris Carley, what do you think?
I like Kansas City as well.
This is getting a little weird. Eric Joseph?
Kansas City.
Wow. Everybody. It's unusual.
Tomas?
KC.
Wow, we got an overwhelming KC. Now we got Philadelphia, and you know me, I'm not a big Philadelphia Eagles fan. I don't know how they act as he made it in here. They're 2.5-point favorites over New Orleans, who has that great defense. So I will go out on the limb, take the 2.5 points, and take New Orleans. What do you think, Fred Dreyer?
I like New Orleans as well. I think I don't see them losing this game.
Chris Carley?
New Orleans.
Eric Joseph?
New Orleans.
Oh, this is getting to be really strange. Tomas?
Philadelphia.
I knew it. I knew you'd go there.
Why do you do that?
I don't know why he does it. Jimmy Mack, bring it home.
I feel like it.
I got to go with New Orleans. Even though they do not play well away from home, but this is the playoffs, they will send Philadelphia home.
So most all of us, except for Tomas, who picked Philadelphia, went with Fred Dreyer.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I thought you had a comment or something. I thought you were getting ready to utter some gem of wisdom for us to listen to.
No, it's Kansas City. I hope they leave the red pants at home. But,
So Kansas City and the Red Pants, all of us unanimously take Kansas City, and we're getting a point with that. And most of us, except for Tomas, are picking New Orleans and taking the 2.5 points. When we come back, we're going to look at the Sunday games, and we got some little bigger point spread there. Cincinnati is at home 7-point favorites over San Diego. San Francisco on the road 2.5-point favorites at Green Bay. We'll continue straight ahead on CRN. It's the weekend edition of the PM show.
This is Bill Carroll. If you owe back taxes to the IRS, now is the time to deal with it. Right now more than ever, the government wants your money, and it's the IRS's job to get it. Call Blue Tax to help get it done. 800-201-1008. 800-201-1008. Blue Tax will confront the IRS so you don't have to and get you on track before another tax season ends and another year is added to your balance. Blue Tax will work hard to resolve your wage garnishment before payday and stop most bank levies right away. No matter what you owe the IRS or state, Blue Tax's team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents will work to resolve your case and stop any legal action against you. Even if you've been audited or haven't filed a return in over a decade, call Blue Tax now. 800-201-1008. 800-201-1008. One more time, 800-201-1008. Or visit BlueTax.com.
Hi, I'm Amy Grant. Sometimes, without warning, life switches directions. This past year, as my sisters and I shared our last moments with our mom, I learned some important lessons. Unexpected turns are much easier to handle if you have a plan. That includes making smart insurance decisions. For starters, you need unbiased information. That's why I've partnered with the National Association of Insurance Commissioners to help you get the tools you need. Go to insureyouonline.org for more information.
Whether it's a serious fall, fire danger, or other type of home emergency, Life Alert is there for you. The company with its slogan, "Help, I've fallen and I can't get up," protects its members. Here are some of them.
When you have a heart attack like I did, and there's no one there, Life Alert was there for me.
Having a secure feeling through Life Alert is ideal.
My independence is possible because of it.
Now, Life Alert can also protect you in a fire emergency with a system that automatically notifies our monitoring center.
Thanks to Life Alert, you can live alone without ever being alone.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-814-4041. That's 1-800-814-4041. Call now, 1-800-814-4041. For a free brochure, call 1-800-814-4041. 1-800-814-4041.
Hi folks, Fred Dreyer here for Regenix. This September will mark my 7th year as a Regenix client. 7 years, and I could not be more satisfied. Why, you ask? Because they took the time to analyze, explain, and teach me what was specifically happening to my hair and scalp, and in doing so, gave me a reasonable expectation for positive results. If you have hair and scalp issues, there's only one place for you. Pick up the phone and dial 1-800-REGENIX or go to Regenix.com.
PM show nationwide, coast to coast, CRN Digital Talk Radio. I'm Michael Horn, glad to be with you. Tomas is here. We're handicapping the games. Chris Carley here from Gossip Brigade. Eric Joseph from the CRN Newsroom. Fred Dreyer from the famous Fred Dreyer program here on CRN on the weekend edition. Jimmy Mack, handicapper extraordinaire. And is he paying you to play that every time I mention his name?
I can't help it. I love it.
How about
it's a
them
good
bowl?
song.
It's a good song. How about them bowl games, man? I'm all the way for Nebraska and the Oklahoma Sooners, and then they got that BCS game on Monday, which is Florida State. What are they, 8.5-point favorites over Auburn? I want Auburn to win. I'm for the underdog. What do you think, Fred Dreyer?
I think 8.5 points is a little much. I think Florida is the better team, but I'm going to go with Auburn in the upset.
Jimmy Mack, what do you think?
I'm going the other way. I think that they're going to run all over them. I think Auburn's lucky to be in there. How's that?
What do you think, Chris Carley?
I'm going to go with North Dakota State.
Do you want Florida State or Auburn?
Florida State.
And what do you think, Eric Joseph?
Yeah. I take Florida, I guess.
Florida State. What do you think, Tomas?
Florida.
Now, what are you talking about, North Dakota State? Didn't that...
They're playing Townsend, and they're going to destroy Townsend.
Yep. Didn't they have something to do with Fred Dreyer's old San Diego school down there?
Well, no. In 1968, San Diego State was voted the champions by UPI.
Right.
And that same year, the North Dakota State University Bison topped the AP poll. And thus, the two schools shared the college division title.
What do you think of that, Fred Dreyer?
Well, yeah, that's true, too, at the same time, but... before that, we beat their brains in.
Exactly. Don't you forget what Fred Dreyer just said. They beat their brains in. And by the way, when you start talking on a cell phone on an airplane with Fred Dreyer, he's going to take you and turn you upside down in the men's room, so don't do that. Am I right, Fred? You can't stand that.
Yeah, you got that right.
All right, now we got Sunday. We got Cincinnati, 1:05 Eastern time, 10:05 Pacific. Cincinnati's at home, 7-point favorites over San Diego. Fred Dreyer, where are you going on this game?
Cincinnati.
Chris Carley.
Cincinnati.
Eric Joseph.
Cincinnati played horribly last week. I'm taking San Diego.
All right, Tomas?
Cincinnati.
Okay, Jimmy Mack?
Well, Cincinnati's 8-0 against the spread at home this year. But I am going with San Diego because I think they play to the competition.
I'm going with the home team, Cincinnati. They're at home, but it is 7 points. But you know what? I'm going to spotch the 7 and hope they win by a touchdown. At least we'll get a push. San Francisco is playing the afternoon game, 4:40 Pacific time. That's what 4:40 Eastern time, 1:40 Pacific time. San Francisco on the road, 2.5-point favorites at Green Bay. Chris Carley?
This is a tough one, actually, but I'm going to go with San Francisco.
Eric Joseph?
San Francisco.
Tomas?
San Francisco.
Jimmy Mack?
-5 degrees, San Francisco. I think Rodgers is going to be hurt by the weather. He's not feeling good. He's first coming back.
I'm going San Francisco as well. Fred Dreyer, you making it unanimous?
Yes.
There you have it. We started unanimous. We finished unanimous with a little bit of dissension in there. And by the way, when you were at San Diego State, didn't you have some great coaches like Madden and Don Coryell? Who else was there?
Here was my lineup of coaches when I was there. Don Coryell, head coach. John Madden, defensive coach. Joe Gibbs, offensive line coach.
Good God.
And the Rod Dowhauer, quarterbacks, receivers coach. Ernie Zampese, secondary coach.
Unbelievable. That's what made this man the legend that he is. The Sultan of Safety, Fred Dreyer. Thanks for being on the show, Freddie Dreyer.
Thank you so much. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Fred.
Jimmy Mack, thank you so much.
Thank you. Happy New Year, everybody.
Chris Carley, thank you.
Happy New Year.
Tomas, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Big-time 2-week winner in a row, Eric Joseph, thanks to you.
It's actually 3 weeks, but you're welcome.
It is at 3 weeks, really?
Yeah.
Well, we took one of those weeks and we threw it out.
It's all right. It's all right.
That's how we do it here. And we took one of my bad weeks and threw that out also. All right, and thank you all for joining us. Check us out on the web at crntalk.com. Thanks to Courtney Kadare for producing this show. Have a safe weekend. Enjoy the football. I'm Michael Horn. Have a great night.
Which was most appropriate because that was your theme.
Are you tired of hearing your favorite talk radio show sound like this? What if you could hear your favorite shows in crystal clear, high-definition digital sound? Well, with CRN Digital Talk Radio's 6 channels of high-definition radio, you can now hear all of your favorite hosts like you've never heard them before in CRN HD. The difference is amazing. Catch your favorite political hosts like Dennis Prager, Tom Hartman, Barry Farber, and so many more. Entertainment and lifestyle programming like The Robert Conrad Show, The What's Cooking Show, and The What's Cooking on Wine Show, all in true CRN HD audio. Sports, business, travel, food, wine, politics, there is something for everyone, and it's all available in CRN High Definition Sound. Log on to www.crntalk for listings and information on all your favorite shows. That's www.crntalk.com.
The radio channel. The radio channel. CRN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. For much of the nation, it is still extremely cold. Peter Schwandar, who was visiting Washington, D.C., says he was surprised it was as cold as it is in his hometown of Switzerland. But he had just experienced a warmer climate.
Yesterday I was in Florida, and the weather was very nice and very hot.
Massachusetts resident Avalon Nick Minton says the snow is pretty to look at from inside a warm house.
I sort of enjoy just staying in and reading a book or catching up on my newspaper reading or whatever it happens to be, and just watching it through the windows. As long as the power stays on, that's okay.
13 people died from the snowstorm that blew in last night. Officials from the Midwest to New England are preparing for another Arctic blast in the next few days that could be even worse. Also, at srnnews.com, the Obama administration is urging the Supreme Court not to block a controversial birth control mandate in the new health care law.
The Justice Department is appealing to Justice Sonia Sotomayor to lift an order she issued on New Year's Eve that blocked the Obamacare contraception requirement for some religious organizations. Sotomayor issued an emergency injunction after a group of Denver nuns who run nursing homes for the poor said the law violates their religious beliefs. But the administration argues in court papers that the nuns will not have to pay for birth control for their employees under a healthcare law compromise. Greg Clugston, SRN News, Washington.
A judge in California is giving the go-ahead for the mother of a 13-year-old girl to move her daughter from an Oakland hospital. The teen Jahai McMath was declared brain dead after tonsil surgery. The judge says the mother must assume full responsibility for the consequences. It's unclear when the girl might be moved. On Wall Street, the Dow by 29 points, the Nasdaq down by 11, the S&P lower by 1, oil down $1.48 to $93.96 a barrel. This is SRN News.
Do you have a family member who's getting older and can no longer be safely left alone? Visiting Angels, America's choice in senior home care, assists senior citizens and adults to continue living at home and not have to move into a nursing home. Visiting Angels has over 400 franchised locations across the nation. Experienced, compassionate caregivers provide assistance in hygiene, meal preparation, and light housework up to 24 hours a day. Rates are affordable, and you can select your caregiver before service begins. Visiting Angels has cared for hundreds of thousands of seniors nationwide. Franchises are available. Call Visiting Angels toll-free today at 877-374-LIVE. To find an office near you, visit www.visitingangels.com. For home care for your loved ones, call Visiting Angels now at 877-374-LIVE. That's Visiting Angels, America's choice in home care at 877-374-LIVE.
New Jersey Governor Chris Christie sends holiday cards to at least 5 Republican officials in the key presidential election state of Iowa.
The holiday card, as reported by BuzzFeed, shows the New Jersey Republican at the podium with his family after he won re-election last November. The card reads, "Wishing you peace and happiness this holiday season and throughout the coming year." The card was paid for by the New Jersey Republican State Committee. Governor Chris Christie is considered a potential 2016 presidential contender. Since Iowa kicks off the presidential primary season, planting political seeds in that state signals he may be seriously considering his presidential aspirations. Linda Kenyon, SRN News.
Government lawyers are taking action to protect the National Security Agency's practice of collecting the phone records of every American every day. The Justice Department filed notice today that it is appealing a federal judge's ruling that threatened to end that program. This is SRN News. More than 2 years behind schedule, the Transportation Department is proposing new regulations for rear-view cameras on motor vehicles.
Proposals designed to reduce the number of accidents involving children and disabled people. Advocates claim as many as 2 children are killed every week in accidents involving cars that are backing up. While specifics of the proposals haven't been released, they're intended to help drivers see areas directly behind their vehicles. Potential solutions aren't limited to cameras. Car makers could also use additional mirrors, sensors, or other technology. The proposals were sent to the White House on Christmas Day. Wally Hines, SRN News, Capitol Hill.
The body of a second victim has been found in the ruins of a Minneapolis apartment building, increasing the death toll to 2 from the explosion and fire that gutted the building. That Wednesday morning fire also injured 14 people, some critically. More details at srnnews.com. I'm Keith Peters in Washington.
Welcome back to the No Monthly Mortgage Payment Show.
No doubt you've heard the programs and commercials talking about reverse mortgages. You know, with the famous actors, or they used to be famous actors, telling you how you can eliminate your monthly mortgage payment, still own your home, and live the life of your dreams. Well, most of it's true, but you need to get all the facts. Call now for 7 secrets of reverse mortgages. Call 800-436-9870. This simple-to-read brochure includes information about possible hidden fees, which program benefits you and not the bank, and how to negotiate better terms. Let's put a stop to all the games. Call now to get the facts. Operators are standing by. Call 800-909-1247. That's 800-909-1247. 800-909-1247.
In 1942, Eleanor flipped her wig about Geico saving her moolah on her motor insurance.
Hey man, in 1969, Ace saved enough dough with Geico to go to Woodstock. His only memory? The savings.
In 1984, Stephanie saved, majorly, on her car insurance with Geico. It was so totally righteous.
Over the past 75 years, the expressions have changed, but one thing hasn't: saving money with Geico.
Along about 10 years ago, there